Welcome back, everybody. In this video, I'll be expanding on the turn-based battle system I started last time. I'm hoping to get things like random encounters, special attacks, possibly. The random encounters will be like walking through grass, like in Pokemon. And I might try and get running, so the player can run. Critical hits, and I'll make it so the fight loops. And also make it so the fight is its own separate scene from the main game. Okay, so first of all, we want to create a scene. We need to pick a level for it. Let's just pick the big sample town, and then we want a place where the player will be going in to get the fights triggered. So let's just choose this area. We'll move the player start there. And so with the top-down 2D, every time the player moves a single space, the trigger will be set off. So this is how the Pokemon does it, right? It's like you're moving through, ding, 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 and each of those is its own like roll of the dice, so to say, of you possibly picking up. So first of all, to show that, let's first of all have I'm gonna play a little sound. So let's play a sound of a crash, and we'll play it for 0.3 seconds. What else? Yeah, and then let's have a what we're gonna do here is we're gonna have the chance of finding the fight, so to say. So let's set this random variable, or this local 0 to set to random between. So this is where the choice comes in of how many steps do you want it to be on average before the player actually finds something. So let's say we want him to at least have 1 in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So if it's 18, you might want 9, or you might want, but I feel like 10 is a more nice rounded number. So a minimum value of 0, maximum value of 10. And then we want to do a switch. So the great thing about switches is that you don't have to layer loads of if statements. So if you wanted something different to happen on 10 to something different to happen on 9, you could very, very easily. And well, instead of having if it's 1, then does this, and then in the else you have if it's 2, do this. So with the switch, you can just easily add and remove things. So what I'll do here is I'll disable the else. So if when the value is 10, I'm going to change the scene to this battle scene. So let's drag this in here and put this here, put that here. So now let's try that out. We're in the level now, so if we take a look at the trigger zone, you can see that we started in. So when we spawned, it made the sound, and every time we move through it, it will make that sound. And hopefully, because it's setting to 0 or to the random value of 10, hopefully soon we will move to the battle scene. We're having through. There's the sound playing. Might have to turn up for you guys. Okay, so there we go. It took a while, so I might turn down the 10 value to a smaller number so that it happens more often. And I know that there is some problems with GB Studio's random numbers, mainly because of the Game Boy's problem with random numbers. But that's just how it goes. So we might have to refine it a bit more later down the line. But so here we are. So we're back to the original thing now. So we can attack him, and obviously this is obviously where we left off last time. So let's just forget that, and So we've now got the random encounters, but the problem now is they don't end. There was no way to leave that encounter. So what I'm going to do first of all is change this um, script so it is instead on the initiate of the scene. So first of all, we obviously want to initiate the player's stats, which we might want to do in the scene before so that they're consistent. Or we might not. It actually depends on how you want the game to work. You might want the player to, every time they come into the fight, have the same stats, and this is how you do it. So you set the stats, you set the enemy stats, and then you want to paste the choice, right? So now instead we want, first of all, I'll delete it off of the original character. So now on initiate of the scene, we have it so it sets the variables, and then we have it so it asks us if we want to attack or run, right? So here is where it changes. We now want it to loop. So if I say loop forever, and we put that inside, once it sets all the functions, it will then loop us doing this thing. So once it gets to the end of asking if we want to attack or run and we do everything, it then will ask us again. So now what we want to do is we want to make it so when the player presses run, they go back to the previous scene. And to make that happen, what we want to do is we want to stack this scene. Instead of change scene, we want to stack. There, so push scene state on top of stack. Okay, so now we put this scene on the stack, we can come back to it. So we put it on the stack. So this scene will be underneath the next scene, and then when we press run, so when this is false, when this is in the else, we want to restore first from the stack, I think. Let's just try it out and see if it works. I'll put the number down on the random number so it happens more often, hopefully. So it's now 1 in 4 chance, I think, because it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, sorry, which means up to 4. So let's try this out. There we go. Here we are. So if we press run, we're now back. And obviously, there is the chance that it will take us straight back here, which obviously might not be what we want to do, but we can play around with how this works in the future. So this is the basic of it. So if we press attack, you hit the enemy. Enemy has 2 health. So imagine you're about to die. You can run away. You can now run away from the fight. It's now asking us to attack again. So when we die, or maybe more likely when we die, we should send us to a dead state, right? A dead scene. But when they die, we should go back to that level, shouldn't we? We should go back to the main level. So I'll just figure out that. So we go in the script. We can say enemy health is equal to 0. Enemy is dead. And then we want to level up. Fantastic. And then restore first from stack. Easy. Should be as simple as that. Okay, so now what we can do is I can work on a special attack. Okay, so for this special attack, we will have to change this from a multiple choice to a menu, which is very easily done. Okay, so you make sure you use the same variable. We can set this to, well, we can create what we want to do. We can do special. Let's just call it special. We'll call this one hit, and then we can add another option here and call it run. Okay, So now we can delete this one. And we actually want to change how this works because it's not a if statement now. It shouldn't be an if statement now. It should be a switch like we said before. So let's make a switch. We want to have 3 variables. We'll set this last one to 0. It just makes sense to do that. And then we'll have 1 and 2. And then what we want to do is transfer all of these things into those. So let's just close 1 and 2 for now. We can disable the else, so it's not in our way. So what we want to do is we want to put the run into the 0. So we've now, like we did before, the restoring stack when you run. That's as simple as that. And then now we say if it was equal to run, before it was hit. So we can put all of this stuff into number 1, I think. No, that's special. So number 2. So let's put all of this into number 2. So what's this? Setting. Oh yeah, the randomizer, whether or not you actually hit. And then, is that everything? Fantastic. So we can delete this now. Okay, now here's where it becomes interesting because we want the special. So we might want on the initiate to make a special variable. Let's just put that above it. So player experience, and then we call this one special attack, and we'll set it to a value of well, let's set it to a value of 5, just like the actually let's set it to 4 so that we don't kill them in one hit. But if we've already hit them once, we can kill them in one hit because their health is 5, is it? What's their health? So here somewhere. Well, the player's health is 5. The enemy's health is 3. Okay, well, let's set it to 2 then, so we don't kill them instantly, so we can just show how it works. Or we can put the enemy health up. That's a good idea, actually. Let's put it to 7. So now they're stronger than us, or have more health than us. So if we put our special attack to 5, we should have a more interesting gameplay here. Okay, so I want this special attack to have a certain amount of uses. So I'm actually going to set the uses in the initiate of this. So special attack, let's just set this one to 20. This one will be 25, and it'll be called special attack uses. And I'll set it to 3 just so it's easier to keep track of. And I'll try and actually I'm gonna put it in a different trigger because the way I want it to work is every time, like, you have to recharge your special attack basically, and to recharge your special attack, we'll just walk in front of this house. Okay, so let's go back to the special attack, and I want to display special. There's actually 25 out of 3, and what this will hopefully do is display how many special attack moves you've got left. So let's just try this out. Let's see if it works. If it doesn't work, then we both learned something. And if it does work, then this is basically what Pokemon does. So obviously, let's set it to 3. It should be set to 3 now. Now let's try and find the battle. There we go. Okay, and here we go. Special 3 out of 3. So if you use our special, obviously nothing happens because we haven't set up to do anything. But it does display how many special attacks you have, which is basically how Pokemon does it. So you know when you're in the heat of battle how many you have left to use. So let's go back and set up the functionality for the special attack. And on the special attack, I'll make it have a critical hit, and I won't bother doing it on the main attack for now, just because this is special, of course. Okay, so on value 1, we basically want to do what we've already done before. But maybe this time it won't be random. It will always happen. So let's say the special attack. Yeah. Let's say the special attack did, and then we can even display the damage it should put out. So 24 damage. And then if you look at that, the special attack did the value 24 damage, which is the special attack damage. And we can say then that the math function, we have to subtract the enemy health. Sorry, enemy health. We can subtract a variable of 20. What was it? 24. 24. But first of all, what I want to do is I want to decrease the special attack uses by 1. So subtract value by 1, clamp it so that it doesn't go below 0. And what we actually want to do is we actually need to check if there's 0. So before this switch, we can say if compare with value or compare with variable. Oh no, the variable compare with value. So if it's equal to 0, so equal to 0. So if the uses are equal to 0, then we want to say you have no special moves special moves left. And then basically we want that to end there, which it should do. And otherwise we just want to do this. We just want to do the switch. And because it's in the loop, it would end there and therefore go back and ask us if we want to do the special, hit, or the run again. Okay, so now it should. We've made it so it subtracts 1 when we attack using the special attack, and when it gets to 0, you can't use the special attack. Okay, so when we subtract the enemy health, we want to make sure we're doing the same thing we did here. So here we subtract the enemy health, and we want to take this if statement. If it's equal to 0, it does this. Otherwise, it doesn't. So there we go. So we just want to make sure we paste it in the correct place. So after the enemy health, boom. So now what we want to test that, obviously. Let's test that, and then I'll get back to you with what's next. And there we go. Special 3 out of 3. The special attack did 5 damage. The enemy has 2 health, and then they attack you because we just copied the script over. And we have 2 specials left, so we attack. The special did 5 damage. The enemy is dead. You leveled up. Your strength is now 2, and it brings us back here, just like the other one did. So obviously, if we want to reset, we have to go back through the grass we already came through. So let's do that. And so that works perfectly. Let's just special attack with 5 damage. I'm trying to get the special attack down to 0 again, so we can see if it definitely works when you have 0. Okay, so there's another attack. 5 damage. The enemy has 2 health. Special. Okay, it's working. Okay, so we can see here that the special is 3 out of 3 every time. So what that's telling me is that we're setting the special at the start of this scene, which we didn't want to do, because we want to make sure that the player has it in a different place. Okay, so here's the problem. It still sets the special attack uses here. So it was in the initiate of this scene, which obviously we didn't intend to have. We only wanted it here, so the player has to come back to this house when they want to reset their special moves, so that they can't always do the special moves. So that's that fixed. And next we want to do critical hits. So I want to now make it so when they do the hit, it actually does double damage. So let's try that out. So we want it in special is the 1 slot. So the switch of 1 is here. I'll just close slot 2. And this is when the enemy health is 0, so close that. Okay, so here we are. We're at the special attack. So before we actually tell the player what the attack damage is, we want to have a math thing of a random thing. So let's decide how often or how rare it is that there's a special attack. Normally it's really rare, but we can make it so it's 1 in 4, just so it's a bit more obvious. So I'm going to use this local 0 value again. It shouldn't matter that we're using it for the switch because we're already inside the switch. So we want to set to a random between 0 and let's say 2 this time. So it's 1 in 3. And then we want to have we can do an if statement for this, I think. We could do a switch, but it doesn't really matter because there's only one outcome that we actually care about, or 2 if you count the else. So if it's equal to 2, then we want to say you did double damage or critical hit. Critical hit. And we want to times the value by 2, let's say. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take this it's going to be 0 again because it doesn't matter because we're already inside it, each of these values, so it doesn't matter that we're using it again. As long as we don't need to recall on it in the future, it should be fine. So we'll set it to the variable of the damage of the special, so the special attack, and then we'll do math functions and we'll times it by 2, so multiply by a value of 2, and then as long as we reference this in the fighting, then it should be fine. So what we want to do is critical hit, and it sets the damage to times 2. So now, because we're using the local value as the damage, we need to make sure that we reference that in other places. So first of all, this is what happens when it is a critical hit. And then if it's not a critical hit, what I want to do is set the same value to the special attack without doing anything else extra to it. So now, but in both cases, the local 0 value is now the one that we're referencing when we talk about the enemy health or the damage we do to the enemy, but only in this section here. And everywhere else, it still stays as the other stuff. So that value is now an L0 value for local 0. Special attack uses subtract by 1. That's still true. And enemy health, we want to actually subtract the damage that we intend on doing. So now when an enemy is dead, it actually should do that. And everything else stays the same. So now we have a critical hit on the special attack. And obviously, you could do the same thing for the normal hit. We have the random encounters, obviously, to get to this scene, and we get put back in the same scene, the same place when we're done. We have the special attack, which counts down, and you have a space to reset it. So now let's see if this works. Okay, so special, 3 out of 3. Special attack did 5 damage. The enemy has 2 health. You dodge their attack. Special, 2 out of 3. The special attack did 5 damage. The enemy is dead. You leveled up. Blah blah blah. Next episode, maybe I'll work on the leveling up system a bit better as well. Let's just see the outcome. Hopefully, I can make it so. Hopefully, this will be the critical hit right now. Nope, it was not. So we've run out of special attacks here. So we have no special moves left. So we can just hit them. Oh no. Okay, so you can see here how the hit is acting as if it's the special moves. So this is a bug. So let's go in and try and fix that. So when it's 0, it does that. When it's 1, it should be the special attack. When it's 2, it should be normal, yeah. Okay, so where's the problem? Display menu. If it's 2, oh, here it is. So we're actually asking if the special moves are 0 before we should. We should do it when the player asks for a special move. So let's put the switch above it. Let's take this, and we'll put that into the special bit instead. So let's just close all these and paste this. So when they choose the special attack, it tells them they have no special moves left. Or if they do have special moves left, it does exactly what we want them to do. So great, that's good. We sorted that out together. And if I'm just going to change the likelihood of the special moves happening a lot. So let's just put it's a 50-50 chance whether it's a special attack or not. So in the next episode, I'll go over making sure that you keep your variables the way you want them to be, and when you level up, they're consistent and they're not accidentally set to the wrong thing. But that'll be in the next episode. So critical hit, the special attack did 10 damage, so perfect. So we now can kill them in one hit if we use the special attack and we get a crit. Okay, let's try that again. Critical hit, fantastic. The special attack did 10 damage. The enemy is dead. Okay, so obviously you'll have to play around with these numbers yourself, and maybe you can reward the player with a higher chance of a critical hit by changing the random values and whatnot. Okay, so that's perfect. The only thing I haven't done this episode is show you how to add running. So I think I'll leave that for the next episode because this is getting a bit long. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and please leave any comments and feedback of what you want to see in the next video, how I did in this one. I'm trying to keep them as simple as I can, but there's a lot of things that I'd want to show, and maybe by the end we can have a bigger experience, a bigger game that we can all work together on. Please send links to your games if you make them. I would be really interested in see what you make with this stuff. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and like this video if you liked it. Thanks for watching, everyone.